Listen closely because this will change how you see yourself. Every icon you admire, every billionaire, every superstar, they've all been knocked down by life, not once, many times, and that pain, that struggle, it's exactly what shaped them into legends. Now I want to tell you some stories. These are stories of six people that we've all heard of. They're famous, they're rich, they've done great things, but before they got to where they are today, they were all punched in the face by life. And if you look at their story, the way that they reacted to that punch is what ultimately determined whether they became a nobody or somebody. The first person was J.K. Rowling. Now you may have heard of her. She wrote Harry Potter. This woman went through hell and back. When she was growing up, her parents were incredibly strict. Her mother was an extremely strict Christian, and when she passed away when Joanne was only 25 years old, Joanne, like any other child, felt grief. But instead of taking it out on herself, she took it out on others. She ended up getting into huge fights with her friends and family, screaming and yelling. But rather than just deal with the pain and let it go, she did something else. She channeled it. The pain turned into her writing. That period of grief, which lasted for months, turned into the first book of Harry Potter. If she hadn't gone through that pain, she wouldn't have become the billionaire she is today. So remember, no matter what you're going through right now, it can turn into something beautiful one day. You just need to keep pushing through. Number 2, Oprah Winfrey. This woman has interviewed everyone from presidents to celebrities to billionaires. She's one of the richest women in the world. At least that's what we see. But behind the scenes, she had a rough childhood. Growing up, she was abused and she was overweight. And at school, because she was so big, the other kids used to call her, guess what? They used to call her names. They would call her names like Oprah Winfrey. Can you believe that? The girl who has interviewed everyone and is best friends with everyone's favorite celebrity was called Oprah Winfrey as an insult that hurt her. She dealt with that pain. She didn't let it stop her. Instead, she used it as fuel to propel herself forward until she was no longer that chubby kid who was bullied. She became the most respected and loved woman on television. Remember, no matter what other people think of you, if you focus on your craft, eventually the world will respect you. Number 3, Stephen King. He is the author of more than 300 books that have sold more than 350 million copies worldwide. In 1978, he suffered a near-fatal overdose of drugs and alcohol. At this point, his career was at its lowest point. He was unknown, he was poor, he was suffering from writer's block, and he weighed only 85 pounds. It looked like his life was over, but he pulled through and he started again. He began to work on small projects, and slowly but surely, one of those small projects turned into a bestseller, The Shining. It became such a hit that the movie adaptation was released a few years later, and that's when his life completely changed. He went from being a nobody to being someone. Remember, when life knocks you down, don't stay down. Pick yourself back up and start again. Next up, Walt Disney. He was fired from his job as an animator because he was deemed quote-unquote lacking in imagination and had no good ideas. He was a failure. His first company went bankrupt, but he didn't give up. He got back up and started again. In 1923, he founded the Walt Disney Company, and since then it has grown to become the largest entertainment company in the world. Remember, you're only as good as your last project. Everyone forgets about everything you've done previously. All they remember is what you did yesterday, so always do your best. Next up, The Rock. He too was punched in the face by life, and he didn't just get punched once, he got punched multiple times. He was born into a poor family. When he was 2, his father left his mom. When he was 13, his family moved to New Zealand. When he was 14, his father died. When he was 15, he was kicked out of his house. When he was 16, he joined the football team at college, but he was cut within a week. He was a nobody, he was fat, he was poor, he was depressed, and he was desperate, but he didn't give up. He pushed through, he started hitting the gym, and eventually he became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and today he's one of the most loved and highest paid actors in the world. Remember, your body will betray you, but your mind will never, so strengthen your mind and push through every obstacle. Last but not least, Michael Jordan. He was cut from his high school basketball team and told he was, quote, not athletic enough, but that didn't stop him from trying out for the NBA, and even though he was drafted in 1984, he wasn't an instant success. He played poorly and lost, but guess what he did? He stuck with it, and in 1991, he led his team to their first championship win in 6 years. He was named the most valuable player of the game, and from there, he became a global icon. Remember, becoming great at something takes time. You're only good at something after you've put in the reps and the hard work. Don't expect To be a billionaire overnight, it took Michael Jordan 7 years to become a champion, so stick with it and trust the process. So the next time you're feeling down, just remember every single person you look up to, every celebrity, every billionaire, they've all been punched in the face by life, and it's what they did after getting punched that made them who they are today. Now, before we wrap up, I want to give you one final story. This story is about a boxer. You see, when Muhammad Ali was in his early 20s, he was on the rise. He was winning fight after fight. But in 1964, everything changed. He was stripped of his heavyweight title because he refused to be drafted into the military. People thought this was it. His career was over, but he didn't give up. He kept training, he kept practicing, and 3 years later, he got his chance. He fought Sonny Liston and won. Remember, sometimes you have to take a step back to move forward. Sometimes you have to take a loss to ultimately win. Never give up. Keep pushing forward. This isn't just a video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you can be inspired by these videos every single day.